Jacob has spastic diplegia, which affects his bottom half of his body. We noticed he wasn't meeting any of his milestones at his 9-month check with the health visitor, and then we got referred to a specialist who then got us an MRI of his brain, which obviously concluded that he'd got cerebral palsy.
Basically, you don't have what we call a normal child. The journey started, it transpired that Adam had cerebral palsy, but he had quadriplegic cerebral palsy, so it was all 4 limbs. Because the brain damage is quite extensive. They put it down as severe bilateral periventricular leukomalacia. Believe me, it took a long time to even get those words out.
You feel lots of different emotions. I think you fear what the future holds more than anything. I think if you could look and see what was going to happen, then you'd feel a bit easier about the whole condition.
I would never change anything. What I would change is improving his quality of life. Improving things, giving him access, giving him choices, giving him an opportunity to go and integrate in society. To say, you know what, actually you can be a part of society. Hi, my name's Collie. I'm a mother of 2 boys. One's called Adam and one's called Ibrahim. They're wonderful young people. I've been living in Tottenham for about 11 years now, and my housing situation has reached an all-time crisis.
Collie Begum is the mother of Adam Payne, an 11-year-old boy who suffers with quadriplegia cerebral palsy. This is the most severe form and affects all 4 of his limbs. Adam is blind, suffers with epilepsy and cannot eat or speak, relying on his mum full-time as his carer and to improve his quality of life.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to take that lead role and I'm going to, no longer work and let my other half go and work and so forth. But the problem is that financially you become crippled. You don't have that financial power to improve yourself because you're not working. Carer's allowance is £62.10. It is pittance to pay someone who's dedicated their time and their life to look after their child and made that massive sacrifice. And to buy equipment and to buy things that this child requires, it doesn't just have 1 0, it has like 3 0. And even if you wanted to, this is the problem, the child grows out of that piece of equipment. A child like Adam doesn't need 1 piece of equipment, they need several. And basic stuff like a standing frame, a wheelchair, a home seating system. I'm trying to relate it all back to the housing, i.e. that if the house is built in a suitable fashion, made accessible to be lived in, you never have a problem in terms of equipment because the equipment it will fit in. Straight away I said, look, there's problems. We've got threshold at the back door. How are we going to get the wheelchair over? We're told, oh, don't worry. Just one example. We'll get the DFG grant and we'll tweak it. The DFG grant is a grant made available to people like myself. It's called a Disabled Facilities Grant to make reasonable adjustments to your home to allow the disabled person to live their life. It took me 4 years to try and access that grant.
Collie has alleged to be in an ongoing battle with Haringey Council as she accused her local authority of failing to adapt the home for her son's needs.
I've always had to clamber upstairs, walk through narrow doors with his wheelchair or leave his wheelchair in one section of the house, pick him up to go to another section of the house. At 15 kilograms is when you stop picking up a child, physically picking up a child with cerebral palsy because their weight is like dead weight. I'm picking up a 36.6 kilogram child in a spinal brace. Surely that should be alarming. I shouldn't have to explain myself that this is a problem.
Haringey Council are still yet to comment on this issue. In order to resolve some of these problems, Collie organised a Walk of Hope event to raise money for Adam's cause. Members of the local community attended to support the event, including the Mayor of Haringey.
Make them to be part of the community.
Today we are here to support a disabled child. We should never ever isolate people from the community because their disability. We should educate them and make part of our society.
We are looking at a situation where this child is crippling, literally crippling, and we're having to be his backbone to get the support and recognition he deserves as a human being.
After 4 years of waiting, Adam is now due for his spinal fusion surgery. This will help him live more comfortably by straightening out his spine.
The day is May the 3rd, 2017. It's a very nervous day for us because today we are booking Adam in for his spinal fusion surgery. Yes, I'm only talking, sweetheart. I'm only telling them. It's okay. We're just talking, sweetie. And I'm absolutely bricking it. I'm very, very nervous.
Adam's surgery was a success, and his mum is now left hoping improvements will be made to the housing so that Adam can return home to a safe environment. This is Jacob Meacham. He has a different case of cerebral palsy that only affects the lower part of his body. He has recently had SDR surgery and is now relearning how to walk without spasticity.
Selective dose rhizotomy or SDR surgery is a procedure that involves cutting some of the nerves in the spine of a child. It is a procedure by which you selectively divide some of the sensory nerves, which are nerves which come from the muscles all the way up to the spine. And at the bottom end of the spinal cord, a place called the conus of the spine, you can identify all the nerve roots, all the sensory roots and all the motor roots. And in SDR you protect the motor roots and then evaluate and analyze all the sensory roots and divide about 60% of them, and in that way you can permanently reduce the spasticity of a child with cerebral palsy.
SDR surgery isn't available on the NHS, and Jacob's family had to fundraise £10,000 for the operation.
We started fundraising for a trike for Jacob, as that's what the physio suggested would help his legs even further. It's a specialist trike. Then we raised so much more money than we expected. Instead of 2,000, we actually raised near enough 4,000.
And that was in just
in a couple of days, yeah. So we decided to look into other equipment that we could buy. And a lot of people were suggesting that they'd tried SDR, which is the operation. So we looked into doing that and decided to fundraise further. We had an appointment with the specialist doctor who does the operation, and he said that Jacob was a brilliant candidate.
He went there saying that we were going to see the professor about fixing his legs, and that was his thing.
So to him it was quite exciting, but after the surgery I was in quite a lot of pain.
Obviously some of the things that people do get funded for on the NHS, alcoholics that will go in there, spend weeks and weeks in there for treatment and then leave the hospital and straight back on the drink, and people having breast surgery and things like that for cosmetic purposes, yet something as good as giving a child a chance to walk is not deemed suitable.
Andrew McCall is one of many friends who helped fundraise towards the surgery. By jumping out of an aeroplane, he raised £2,203.
Turned up doing my skydive today for Jacob Meacham. He's a family friend. We've known the family for years and we're trying to raise money for his operation, and he's got cerebral palsy. We turned up, we had a briefing. We got the overalls on, the harness, and at the time I was feeling really nervous and scared because you're jumping out of an aeroplane. But I thought it was well worth doing it for the cause. All Jacob's family were here. Jacob himself was here, his grandparents, his mum and dad. A lot of people from the local pub, they all come to support us as well, so it was really good.
Jacob's brother also helped towards the cause, as he hopes that one day Jacob will no longer need his walking frame.
It took us ages and we all worked hard to try and get the money for the surgery, and all did fundraising events and little stalls. When we did that fun event thing, me and my cousin made a little stall, and it was £1 for a go. I think we raised like £11 or something like that. I know it's small, but it added on to everything else. I think he'll definitely start walking unaided and stuff soon, and we can go on little holidays.
New research is currently being carried out to whether or not SDR surgery will benefit enough patients long term. Results are being collected next year for the NHS to decide if it's worth commissioning.